708-223-8953. You got live call in at 708-223-8953. This is the Frontline Show with Tyrone Muhammad College Trust. Y'all know we were talking crazy earlier. Before we get to the serious stuff, I was telling Carter, man, sometimes men don't like to be around y'all. We just got to get away. Our husband and wives saying, and men are easier going with that. And I was just telling women like to go more places with men than men like to go with women. We even got, because when y'all go shopping, we just want to sit at the couch and just wait. Women don't do that. They'll go picking on everything, looking for everything. Oh yeah, I'm about to start the fight today, y'all out there. Y'all, we don't want to be with y'all crazy people every day. God didn't make us to be with women all day, every day, because we gotta work. We gotta build.
I disagree.
We got to do things.
Because when God created Adam and Eve,
He didn't.
In that garden, it wasn't none out there but Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve.
It wasn't no stores they could go to.
And Adam and Eve is Adam and Steve now. Look, Adam and Eve don't even matter no more.
I don't care what society say. What thus said the Lord is.
They still listening to the Lord.
Yeah.
Thus said the Lord.
Society
don't listen to the Lord.
That's why we got Adam and Steve, because ain't nobody listening to the Lord.
Ain't nobody listening to the Lord.
Think? Yeah, but no, I don't agree, Tyrone. And sometimes we just like our men with us. But please don't sit here and feel like you got to be up under me every day, all day, 24/7. That's not what I want in my life.
Just get off of you up under him. He be wanting space. That men be wanting space, y'all. And then y'all take it personal.
Yeah,
like we don't. Hold on, get away. What you don't want me to go? What you tired of? It become all type of stuff. All type of emotional tirades and stuff.
Y'all hear this?
Ladies. Y'all can
don't have me out here fighting this man by myself.
They laughing.
Listen.
Y'all can call in if y'all want to. Women are clingy. Men are not clingy like that. We could care less. Well, we know you there. You safe. We see you. Women want to go everywhere men go. Men ain't trying to go everywhere women go. Go hang with your friend. We gonna go hang with the guys. Ain't that? No, that is
y'all know what? That sound real good.
Yeah. I see you in the house.
That sound real good.
See you in the house.
You know what?
Done. Yeah. Food done.
But you don't want to hang out with me, but you want some food to be done?
Absolutely. That's right. Okay, cook that food and be quiet.
And be quiet.
Hey, y'all know what? On the real though, that's just it's just different. You know what it is though, kind of the pressures of life. Sometimes I just know me. See me, I'm kind of tainted. I don't care about being in the same space all the time. Every now and then, an hour to a day or something like that. But I spent 21 years in a 9x12 cell by myself with me and God.
So you ought to want somebody to hang out with.
No, you don't. You get used to stuff that you don't do. You ain't coming out looking to hang out with a bunch of people after being in a cage. I want to get away from people. I just have a love for our community and my people that I don't care less about hanging out.
Yeah.
It don't matter to me if I go somewhere or not. I don't care about that. I just want to get to business, get stuff done, and then maybe get a vacation, maybe relax. But all my day is consumed with working, not chilling. I don't like to chill.
I think that's maturity, though, Tyrone.
Well, I'm glad. I wish some more people are mature in this world.
That's a level of maturity because I think that I am there with you. I feel that way. And I don't necessarily have to hang out. I have people that,
I don't
I'm
really
okay
care
with.
About my birthdays. I don't care. I sure in the heck don't care about no made up pagan holidays.
Yeah.
I could care less. People take that stuff serious. Like,
yes.
This is my day. This is my this. This is my that. I do not care about that crap. It doesn't do nothing but deplete your funding, your
Oh,
resources.
come on.
Take your money from you. You don't get that back. And that's the word. This the thing I hate the worst. What this is for the kids. No, it's not.
No,
It's
it's
for
not.
you.
It's-
The kids don't even know it exists until you tell them that it's a Santa Claus, fat white man coming down the project chimney. Ain't even got a chimney. You done lied to your kids, right? The tooth fairy. We some lying people, man. And then think we don't even know the value of that, because I used to think about it as I grew up and got smarter. I said, wow, my mama was giving me that. My mama was giving me that money when my tooth was coming out. And they gave me this imaginary creature, and it was them. So what you do is you take away the love that you would normally give to them. Now you got this fictional love. You disrespect them that's in the real and value something that's not even real. And the same with Santa Claus.
That's deep.
The mothers sit there and work
Say that.
3 and 4 jobs to buy toys and then lie to the kids about who did that. No. So the value that you put in the effort to make your child happy, he can't even give it to you. He gives it to a fictional fat white man. And you wonder why we don't know ourselves.
Why we don't know us. And you know what? And even to your point, not only are we lying to them and giving them misconceptions and unrealistic views about these holidays, but we also create a generational setback, because what you find is when it comes to these holidays, whether it's Easter, Christmas, Halloween, those holidays, what you're finding is,
and even New Year's.
It goes generational. And you know, now we gotta keep up with the Joneses, and we gotta try to make sure that excuse me, we're making this one day, this one fictitious day, because that's what it is. And when you think about paganism and what it is and what it means,
but you know what that
the
means?
symbolism,
unholy.
It means that and I was getting ready to get to that. And the fact that even as Christians, we are out here perpetuating the lie. Well, let me not. Well, yeah, I can say we, because sometimes I get into it too. And it's interesting that I said to my family this year, and I'm one of those ones that go all out for Christmas. And it's really interesting because this year I set everybody down and I said, this is it.
That's it.
This is it. Because when you learn better, you're supposed to do better.
And you would think, right?
In doing that, and trying to explain to my grandchildren why grandma don't be calling me with your Christmas list, because my kids come with the list and I try to accommodate. And basically what I was saying to them this year is, if I give gifts, it'll be for birthdays and things like that. But it's going to be savings bonds. It's going to be bank accounts. It's going to be things that are going to set you up for your future. And those are the kinds of things that we need to be talking about. We have to be having these kinds of conversations. I was with a group of people earlier today, and you know, Tracy and I talk a lot about this. And it's about Black people. Well, all people, but you know, I like to speak to Black folks because I'm Black. And my people got some issues and I need to help us out. And one of the things that I'm really, really intentional about saying to people is, we have to be better about how we spend our money. We have to be better about where we put our money. And we have to be better about what matters to us. You know, when you think about our children that are out here in these streets, that are committing crimes and stealing and robbing and smashing grabs and all of these things that they're perpetuating, all of it is done in order to get goods. And it ain't even about things that they need.
Yep.
It's things that they want and things with other people's names on them. When are we going to teach our children to value themselves? We spend, we talk about this all the time about how the black dollar is really the dollar that moves the economy. It is the black dollar. Can you imagine if we were taking those black dollars and instead of going all out for Christmas? And I've seen people spend $10,000 on a prom.
Yeah.
And it's like, at what point
and
do we stop?
But think about what you just said. 10,000 on the prom. And then we have the highest dropout rates in college, and we have the lowest attendance rates as people
in schools.
In school, all of them go out for this prom, but they don't go to college, and they don't really value education. Like, it's like a celebration to leave school, when really it shouldn't be. You shouldn't celebrate to leave school because you haven't arrived nowhere.
No.
You don't even have your school education don't even afford you a proper living. That high school without going to college. Celebrate after you get a 4-year degree.
That's what I'm
Celebrate
talking about.
after you get a doctorate, right? You celebrating after you get high school. But into Carter's point, all these pagan days, I just want us to, like you say, they've never been nothing to me. Never. And the other thing is our birthdays. I'm really so deep in the way I've been looking at that. So I have to have 2 days in the day. First of all, you celebrating your birthday like you gave birth to yourself. You should be celebrating your mama. We should be celebrating our parents who had us on. The woman who pushed you out her womb. All you did, fool,
is
stayed alive in the womb. You ain't nothing. You ain't produced nothing. Now your children should celebrate you. But your birthday should be made for your mom. See, we get so caught up. That's why I'm saying this is Intellectual Radio, right?
That's it.
And now also, let me pay some bills. Sponsored by Support Your Local Read Man, Prohibition THC Cafe, 2113 South State Street. Hey, we'll be looking for y'all on 420. That's 420. That's Sunday.
That's a Saturday.
We got a great day all day long on 21st and State Street, Prohibition Cafe. All day long, we got events. We got Crucial Conflict, Do or Die. Man, we got all type of surprise guests and celebrities coming through all day on 420. If you haven't went on and got your tickets, you better go to prohibitionthcafe.com. prohibitionthcafe.com or supportyourlocalweedman.com and go get your tickets because you're not getting in. I'm telling you, when we reach that capacity to feel that you're on the outside watching and listening to the music, we're gonna have a big screen on the street where you'll be able to see.
I'm gonna be inside, so listen.
Well, that is, I don't know what one's gonna be because she ain't been there. She said here. Hey, but no, I want to be serious, y'all, right quick before Todd. We just talking about some low-hanging fruit issues, but I want to be serious about that. We are ungrateful. Anytime you can celebrate your birthday and don't call your mom or your father and say, thank you for this day. Thank you for this. This is how you know people are not spiritually connected as they think they are. We are really not really. You didn't do nothing but be a pain in your mama's vagina and back. You ain't did nothing to be celebrating like you, Dr. King or something. Y'all, I'm telling you, we haven't done enough in life where people should even celebrate us, and we should be offended that we been celebrated in a way that we didn't do nothing to be celebrated. It's just, guess what else we do? We do this on birthdays and New Year's.
Yeah.
You spring in the new year with death and liquor and all type of illicit activities. And on your birthday, you bring in death. You just celebrating birth, but you drunk and there's a skunk and bringing in your birthday
and cutting your life
expectancy,
yeah.
drinking crap, garbage, liquor, and you drunk and tore up to your brain. Then you putting a big old dead piece of steak or food in your belly. It's a lot of death going on your birthday.
Yeah.
You not celebrating life. They not fasting. They not juicing.
Mm-mm.
I'm celebrating my birthday. So that I'm going to drink well today and I'm going to have the next birthday and I'm going to be much more healthier. Your birthday is really your New Year's.
It is.
Your birthday is really your recognition of life.
Yep.
But we see stuff so tainted by this American society, and then you rationalize it like, we just having fun. No, you just doing suicide. You just having suicidal experience. And you know, what I say to Akata, people will see that, oh man, he just too stern and firm on that. But without really listening and understanding, being logical and say, you know what? That is true.
I love what you said about thanking our parents, and I've never thought about that.
Every year.
Ty, that was so deep.
Yeah.
That was so deep. We ain't did nothing. Not a doggone thing. These people done brought us in the world.
For the last, what is it? For 18 years, who raised you? Yeah. Who bought your clothes? Who nurtured you until you was able to go on your own? And then you go on your own and you go celebrate the birthday with your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or whoever. Not your mama. Not your daddy.
Wow.
You got people who hate their mama and their father. I don't care. That's why the Quran and say, don't say fa about your mama or your father. Your parents.
That's the word.
Don't say nothing. And surely it's similar in the Bible and the Torah. Don't utter or raise your voice.
Well, here's the thing. The first commandment with promise, and I say this all the time, is to honor your father and mother, or your days will be numbered. And some of these people don't realize that when you're being disrespectful or dishonoring your parents, and there's no addendum in there that says, oh, only if they were good to you, or only if they did what you wanted them to do, or only if they raised you, or only if they didn't leave you at Big Mama house. That's not what it says. There's no addendum.
And you know they say, I love Big Mama, because Big Mama had the God nurturing love of God. You know why she was able to be there? Because she made all the mistakes with your mama. Now she able to be a different way to you. See, you can't even recognize how bad your father did you or your mama did you if you wasn't alive. Man, I'm just tired of us, man, as human beings. This is why America is dying. They got all of these things they bring in where they call social equity, they call woke, they call all these different things to go against the norms of what we know is right, and then make you the enemy
for fighting or standing against it.
If you really believe we have the right to do and be who we want to be, how you mad at me because I don't want to do and be what you want to be? How do that work? Like, I'm mad at you.
Talk about oxymorons. Yeah. It's
like I'm mad at you.
How you mad at me?
Exercising your right to vote for Trump or for Biden. I'm mad at you for exercising your right to vote, but you got that right to vote. But as long as I don't vote for Trump.
And you know what? And that's the thing, though, Tyrone, about society. And that doesn't just happen in elections. It happens with education. It happens with politics. It happens with religion. It's like you're free to exercise what you want to exercise. But if I want to exercise what I want to exercise, it's a problem.
You're a school teacher, right?
Right.
So I'm free to do what I want with my body. But as a parent, I'm not free to do what I want with my child's mind.
you're free to take care of them and provide for them.
Yeah, but I'm
you
not
better
free
not
to want my
try
child to stay here and be educated on private schools. No, I need them to be educated under the CTU and CPS structure.
You know what? It's so I love how we segue. Because I read something the other day that really, really, really peed me off. So CTU just got their contract track approved. They got it ratified. The teachers voted on it. And so then there's these issues with the board of education, and they were initially against it. And I read a statement by Stacey Gates Davis. And she said, I knew we were going to be okay because Jutu Brown is on the board. My issue with that is two things. First of all, Jutu Brown represents the Austin community where I live. That wasn't necessarily the choice that we wanted. It was what we were given. Basically, because CTU was able to hire or pay attorneys and people to come in and knock people who were suitable, who were parents, who were probably better equipped, not to take anything away from Mr. Brown. He just wasn't what we wanted. But you put us in a position where he's what we got. And then to stand back and say, oh, it's good because your guy got in. That ain't okay with me. Because it wasn't a democracy. It was about putting in a person that you can control. It was about putting in a person who's going to carry your water, a person who's going to float your agenda. Mind you, that agenda, which is not the agenda of the people. I also don't understand.
But it actually is the agenda of the people.
What people?
And let me explain.
Okay.
Elections have consequences. So people on Facebook Live or out in the IntellectualRadio.com world, and please subscribe and share to IntellectualRadio.com now or get off our line.
And we mean that.
You vote for the change you want to see. Or you don't vote and complain about the change you don't see. So I don't understand you send people to elected office as representatives for your issues and cause. Because if all of us was if all of us flooded the White House or the Senate or the council or whatever, we couldn't get nothing done. So we send representatives to like when I go to the Senate, when I win my United States Senate seat, I'm not going there thinking, oh, you know what? I'm a vegetarian. So I want everybody to be a vegetarian. That don't help my constituents who are meat eaters.
Right.
I got to make sure that when I go there, that the cow is healthy, that this is going on and that is going on. So when my constituents eat that, I want the safety regulations and standards of what they're feeding them, whether it's grass-fed, whether whatever is healthy, so that my people don't get salmonella, don't die from it, then until I can continue to be an example to them of why they should not eat the cow when the cow eat the grass.
Wow.
They don't get that part. The cow is 2,000 pounds eating grass. The cow eat the grass and you eat the cow. You can't tell me human beings are not out of order.
Yeah. Wow.
And our teeth is not even made to even bite into, or our stomachs aren't even made to digest dead flesh. But yet we are living beings. We are crazy, man. So, but I can't legislate with my morality or my ideology or my even my rationale. I have to legislate with what they send me to represent for them until we can bring in healthier alternatives and education to show people why it's oxymoronic to eat something dead and claim life.
Wow. And see, Tyrone, that is why we need to be supporting you as a candidate. That's why it is so important that we are supporting and pushing candidates who are talking about the masses, talking about the people, talking about what's good for the people. Lately, we've only sent people to represent us that care about everything but us.
The party line.
I can't even tell you what they care about because
Yeah.
it definitely ain't the people.
Yeah.
And so I can't realistically say that the people we are currently electing were elected necessarily to represent us. Because you know what? To be honest, we knew that they weren't looking out for us anyway. And yet we continue. And like I said, this cycle of stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. Because it's like I said, you use the perfect analogy. We eat meat. The meat eat the grass that we don't eat.
And the grass is
the vegetation.
What God told
and that's what God told
you
us
should be eating. Now you don't have to eat the grass. He also give us other crops to grow to eat. That's just as or more. I'm only showing you that there's no such thing that the earth is not alive.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime the earth can produce the photosynthesis from the sun that makes the chlorophyll that makes the grass green. That's why in the wintertime it dies, turn brown. When the sunlight hits it, it shines its rays, which is powerful in God for human life. It hit the earth and it turns the grass green because of the chlorophyll that's in the grass. You can actually take grass. Why you think dogs and animals, when they get sick? If you ever had an animal, if you know anything about animals, dog, cats, anything, when they get sick, they eat the grass.
Mm.
And that chlorophyll in there does something to their stomach and digestive system that deals with the toxins, the chemicals, the worms and parasites and everything else. That grass is living. I'm telling you, you can take a blade of grass. It has, if you can calculate it in micro doses, the chlorophyll, the power in that grass blade is so great. And then you got it's just unfortunate our stomachs have to eat too much of it. That's why cows have two stomachs, because they go through two different processes. The one that takes the minerals out and the other one to create manure that then goes back in the earth.
That goes back into the earth. Yeah.
See, man, hey, ain't nothing wasted with God.
Mm.
Nature don't waste nothing. Even your dead body in the earth
goes back.
So why you got our children chasing materials?
Yep.
And they would kill each other over something that's not valuable, insignificant. This is why we can't stop violence. This is why the people who's giving the money to be a conduit to reduce violence can't reach our young people, because they don't even know how to convey to young people that this is how I'm successful. I'm able to do deductive reasoning with kids. I'm able to show him like, hey, what you think? And I play stupid with them because you got to get on their level. Hey, it's only one of you, right? What you mean? I don't have no twin. But even if you had a twin, it would only be one of him, right? Yeah, so you and your twin wouldn't be alike, would y'all? No, y'all have similarities and but y'all are not the same individuals, right? Right. So the brother that you if somebody kill you, is there another you? Man, of course not. Big homie, what you mean? I said, okay, you got that part, right? So what happens when you kill another woman's child? That that one individual is the only him. That's the uniqueness of life. That's the uniqueness of that child. That if you don't understand how the magic and the miracle of God in your mother's womb work, that it hurts a mother so bad that when you take that only child, it don't matter if she have 10. It's only one of him.
One. Yep.
So when you shoot that brother and you murder that brother, nobody can reproduce that person. This what makes him God. Or when you see God, when you look at me, you see God. And when I look at you, I see God. You God because God don't even produce for one of you.
That's it. That's all.
So when you give it to them that way, they can see the inequities. They can see the fallacies in having to take another person's life.
Yes.
Where our own spiritual leaders, our government, the most learned of us, can't even articulate that to them in a whole lesson plan. So they're not qualified. They're not subject matter expert to be peaceful conduits or reduce violence, but they'll get all the money.
They'll get all the money.
Because they don't think deeply about God, self, and others. See, that's why I don't even play no games with this here crap. And y'all stay away from me with this violence prevention money, Black Death as a hustle, and pimping our people. Because the most qualified individuals to be violence prevention czar, reentry czar, prison reform czars are not in the space because they not letting nobody play with their butt cheeks and mind.
Yep. And it's really about the mind. It's about the mind. The mind is where it all begins and it's where it all ends. And so if you can control the minds of people, then you control
Feed your mind, y'all.
the
Intellectual
people.
Radio.
And that is why, and I always talk about art imitating life. And that is why it is so important for us to be mindful of what we are ingesting. And initially, you hear people talk about kids and paying attention to what we're opening our kids up to, paying attention to what they're taking in.
Yeah.
But that's not just the children.
No, the adults
because let me tell you something.
It
ain't even about the adults being the kids. Let me tell you something. It is so easy to get caught up in the fascism of this world.
Oh, Lord.
When you're only paying attention to social media, when you're only paying attention to the television, when you're only listening to the diabolical, disrespectful music that is playing on the radio, those things that we are taking into our minds and our hearts, they take a toll on us. That's why, one of the things that we try to tell people as Christians is to be mindful about how you spend your time. Be mindful in what you're taking in, because you heard people say you are what you eat. You are what you ingest, and whether it's food or information. And I say all that to say, and let me just land this plane right here. I say all that to say, people, that a lot of what we are seeing, the negativity, the disrespect, the disinvestment, the disingenuousness, and I could just go on with the DIS words. But the fact of the matter is that you are seeing a lot of this because of what we are ingesting, what we're feeding ourselves, whether it's the food or the information. It matters. Don't you all understand that there's a reason why the music industry switched over to gangster rap?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because initially, if you think about when rap music started out,
all positive.
it was all positive. It was about the life that we were living, with the exception of maybe NWA. You
Well, there's
know,
gangster
but
rap.
but but
They
but but
came out. They
again,
opened it
even
up.
with
Well, reality
NWA,
rap. They was
they were
reality.
giving you the
Yeah,
reality
yeah.
of what was happening,
And white folks called it gangster rap.
and that was the name that they gave it.
Yeah.
And they also made sure that they were going to work to change the trajectory of what was being
Because
disseminated,
it was banned.
because it was not beneficial for them. And so we switched it up. And all of a sudden, if you were on the radio and you were calling them that beat this and that hold that and that trick that and beat that trick and get that trick, and that became the end all be all. Same
what's
thing
that
with
too? Like, look, I see it every day right now. I don't care if you're a AK, a Delta, what's the other ones?
Sigma.
Sigma. And when this brother, and you gonna already know what I'm talking about. Soon as he come on, Too Short. Big girls go, don't. They go dancing. These grown women.
Yep.
I watched it. I said, put that song on right quick. Watch this. I'm finna show you how these women and their so-called intellectual judgment of women that don't have education. Watch these grown women from 50 years
Grown,
old,
educated
60 years old, all the way down. What's my favorite word? They just short. And they gone.
And they in it.
And listen, I see these girls.
Yes.
I look back and see these women, and these same women pass judgment on these young girls today with Carly B.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
I
do.
watch the hypocrisy of what they are, the hate that hate produce. They are the ones who educated them girls how to twerk and shake their booty. But now that you ain't grandma, listen, man. I had a grandma. I think one had 19 kids. Another had 20-something. With the audacity, even though the respect we have with the audacity to tell them about sex and how to protect themselves. See, it's the generations. See, it's generational, everything. The hypocrisy. How am I, somebody, as a street organization and a street leader, or somebody who was doing drive-bys, gonna pass judgment on the little homies that's drilling, killing, and sliding without offering them an avenue of correction when I helped create the New Jersey City Drive. I helped created the stuff that spreads across the country where they made a whole movie about drive-bys and Minister Society and stuff based on our behavior that then translate into all this other stuff where 50 Cent can do a Powers and he can do all these other shows that really emulate guys in a way.
In a negative light.
In a negative light. Not never a positive.
It's the same thing with reality TV.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched reality TV, and they have this one show, it's called Married to Medicine.
Yeah.
And it is with these educated physicians
fighting, ain't they?
That are just as petty and
Lord.
Oh my God! It's probably one of the most degrading things that you.
But educated women watch Housewives of Atlanta, scrapping them. All these women, with Shawnee them, all of these women, Shawnee Shaq girl who
the basketball.
All of these women, right, are pretty much gold diggers.
Yeah.
Cause the men they got, they no longer husband. They didn't put a ball in the hoop. They didn't do none of that. They took money, they had babies, so their bodies became tools
incubators
for them to receive wealth. Then they go and they don't even know how to come to a meeting, a trip, without fighting each other. Every show, that girl, whatever her name, Roberts, I don't know that black sister name who produced all this stuff. I don't know her name, but why is it that you put black women in the light that they always got to pop off? And you see these little girls out here in the streets. Who you think they get that from?
And you know what? Like I said, I'm in a classroom and I see it every day. I see the disintegration of our people. And you're sitting there, and there are so many times that I almost stand there in front of my students in tears, because when you look out and you see that this is our future, these are the young people who are going to be our business owners, that are going to be our, I want to say doctors and lawyers, but
It's scary for me to
they
believe that they're gonna be any of
they
that,
ain't.
because this is a lost generation that we have forsaken or
Yeah.
for some. So we've forsaken them. We are deemed their parents and elders. That's why I always say parents need parents.
Yep.
And most parents don't know how to parent. They don't parent with wisdom. See, like, there's no child that's gonna out wisdom me, because I've been the child before myself. And you got, unfortunately, a lot of adults act like children in their wisdom. So they can't deliver nothing to their children but rhetoric. They can't deliver no true wisdom, because even after they deliver it, they'll be found doing the same thing they telling their kids not to do in another
In
form.
another form. But we it's so difficult, to be honest, trying to maneuver in this world. And when you think about what's happening in society today, and even looking at our children last weekend downtown, and at
Man,
some point you have to
man,
stop and say,
man.
how do we fix this? How do we save our
We can
kids?
we
How do
can
we
fix it.
how do we do different?
Yeah,
But you know what?
we can
One of the
fix it.
things that you said was key, and that is the fact that you have parents who don't know how to be parents. And I talk about this a lot as a young mother, because I was a young mother. I had my first child at 15, and I had no clue. My mother was away in the military. And so there was no one there to teach me how to really be a parent.
Hmm.
And Big Mama was like, "Listen, hey, get that baby and come on over here, and me and you we're gonna raise this baby together." And the thing with going to Big Mama's house is I resented and regret, and had some regret about having to make that move, because I couldn't do what I wanted to do at Big
Right,
Mama
you ain't
house.
gonna do
And
that.
I probably wasn't gonna get no another baby,
Mm-mm,
because she ain't
mm-mm.
wouldn't let me outside after getting that first one. So I wasn't trying. But what I'm saying is that there was a Big Mama to step in and to assist. Big Mama in the club with the kids now. Ain't no Big
No
Mama
big,
no
ain't no
more.
big money,
Big
mama.
Mama gone, and Big Mama, quote unquote, trying to live her best life.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
so we I
Or
can't, or
twerking
talking,
with her daughter.
or out singing the bitch song. Excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna have to put $1 in the cup. But I'm just saying.
Yep, I get it. There's no big mama. Ready to go? Welcome, welcome. This is Intellectual Radio Frontline Show. I'm Tyrone. Who are we speaking to?
This is Dr. Rosita calling. How are you
Oh,
doing?
Hey,
Dr.
Dr.
Rosita.
Chantal, how are you,
What's up,
girl?
sister?
Hey, how you doing?
You
I want to join in your conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and you were right. There are solutions. And, one of the things, CPS itself is the kind of environment that trains our students to be against us and
Yep,
us against them.
yep,
Yep.
And everybody's fighting each other. The
yep.
parents are against the teachers are up against the wall, the children. And that's the kind of environment that the structure of CPS promotes in our community, just everybody after everyone. And the reason why I know that, because I worked for CPS since 1985 and I left in 2010. So when I left, I worked at CVS High School for about 4 years right before the
Cavaliers, CV, 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 yes. Chicago vocational. You ain't know I went to CVS, did you?
Yes, well, they call it CVCA, but it's still CVS.
I don't know what it is now. I think it's called just a big old building that's unoccupied.
It's CVCA, they call it. But one of the things I wanted to share, I wasn't working for CPS, but I was working in the building. And the whole dynamic was different. I mean, I had high school kids. I was able to, for 4 years, take those children all over the country. And they all became like my little grandkids.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had like 60 little grandchildren. And I had the most fantastic time. All that time, I never had any problems with any of the students. And the reason why is because I didn't have to perform in a way that CPS expected. I could create my own infrastructure. I was the advisor. And I know that we can reach our children, even the ones that are in high school. And so if we just get together, now I got funding for this. My sister actually the funding. We had a couple of $1 million that we put into the school, but this was federal funding that we had. So I'm just saying, and one of the things I put my book in the chat. It's called The Literacy Gap, and I want people to understand why this all happened. I've been collecting the history of CPS. I'm going to produce a book that's a 30-year anniversary edition in the next month.
So let's do this. Let's do this, Doc. Won't you come on here on Tuesday?
Come on and talk about it.
So you have a whole hour. I see other people trying to call in too, but you have a whole hour where we can sit down and chop it up. It is the only reason, one reason I know they failing, because they got less black teachers than they had when you was going. Another reason they failing is black men like Tyrone Muhammad would not be allowed to create black manhood or create manhood courses and respect that these young boys need as it relates to how they deal with the women teachers as well as the young ladies that they're in the same space with. So it's intentional. And they want them boys, instead of having me there and somebody who did prison time, to tell them that is no place they want to be, and I'm an example of why you will not make it and can't make it and can be better. They don't want that taught. Schools are pipelines to prison. And they're gonna continue to be that way because they would rather waste funding on killing our babies than to waste funding on saving our babies. I won't say waste funding, than to provide funding for us to save our babies. And the mothers and the parents are too ignorant to understand that their babies are used as tools for the societal prison industrial complex and the graveyards. So with that being said, man, Sister Queen,
I'm gonna call you so I can come on so we can have this discussion.
No, let's get it.
I think you know what I think that it's high time, and I think that really in terms of education, because to be honest, if we are really, really serious. Well, let me rephrase. Those of us who are serious about saving our children, those of us who are serious about educating our children, those of us who are serious about changing the trajectory of what is happening with our children, the destruction of our children, then we're going to have to really be intentional about how we're educating them, the information that we're giving them. And Tyrone and I talked a lot about this earlier. It's information, the information that's being disseminated. We got to find a way to engage our parents. That still has not happened, mostly because, and let's be clear, because you will hear the Board of Education and different entities say that we want to engage parents. No, they don't. Let me tell you something, because if they were interested in engaging you, really interested, then they would be going and meeting you where you are. And they are not doing that. They don't even schedule their meetings in a timely manner where parents can attend. I was at a capital budget meeting for the West Side on one day this week. I can't remember, but they're going to be going on all around the city. And nothing makes me angrier than going into a meeting sponsored, whether it's the Chicago Park District, whether it's the city of Chicago, the Board of Education. Nothing angers me more than when I come into a budget meeting and they pull out that damn pie chart and they put it up there and it never changes. For 40 years, I don't care how many administrations come in, that pie chart is still the same. But here's the thing. If you're calling me into a budget meeting, to a capital budget meeting about what I may be able to get in my community, please explain to me why there's not a list of needs. There's not a list of things that these different schools need. So how do I or we as a community collectively come up with a plan or vote on what is most important for the school if we don't even know what that is? You come in there with that damn pie chart trying to talk to us about expenditures, and you ain't got nothing to show us about where the money is going to be going.
So what I'm
it's like my thing is, who's stupid here? But it's like, really?
But we stupid.
And you have 100 people that will sit there and listen to that shit.
But this is what I'm saying.
Excuse me, stuff.
See, this is what I'm saying. We have to do a town hall. Yeah. We have to build, because one thing that CTU and CPS and all the politicians are afraid of is when regular people actually create a movement for change. And you don't just use that space to talk to the parents. We use it as a tool for voters registration as well. Now we looking at things a little different, because now we need to start removing some of these aldermen in these wards where our schools are. Yep. See, because a lot of them don't know nothing. So let's just do this, sister. Hopefully I talk to you come before Tuesday, and then we're going to figure out, get on here, and let's have a real talk about education. And that means across the board, let's just go with it. You don't have to keep speaking to, you speaking in the wilderness. You're not, what is it? Is it Moses or Jonah? I mean,
Moses.
You're crying in the wilderness. You're hollering, let my people go. And you holler, let my people go to the enemy, right? That need your people in order to justify,
in order
checks.
To be. They need your people to be.
So I'm not listening to you. I'm gonna make you sound like a crazy rat and raving old woman, black woman educator who just mad because she's not in no authority and nobody's listening to her. So let's figure this out, and let's really raise hell by organizing. Let's go. Oh, girl did it, Karen Lewis. So let's do it in the opposite. Let's do anti-Karen
Wait a minute.
Lewis.
And what people don't realize, Rosita, is it was people like you, me, and Dwayne and Carol Johnson that helped Karen Lewis do it. She didn't do it by herself.
Karen Southside campaign.
And look what you have to admit. Yep. That you was a part of the early things that allowed them to do all the stuff that they're doing now. Now we got to admit that now we have to correct the damage that we created or caused. Like I have to admit that me shooting and drive-by and doing the stuff I was doing when I was a gangbanger created some of the issues and ills that's in our community. So I'm now poised to fix it and fix the damage, even without the resources that I helped create.
Well, let me just, before you go, because we were in doing this before we met Karen. So we had our group before they existed, before Brandon, before Stacy, before all of them.
But guess what y'all let them do? Guess what y'all let them do? Come in, lay down their power and their progressive and socialistic views, communistic views, and then y'all allowed them to lay their things out. Guess
No,
what
I
happened?
didn't.
Now
When they
you
met
may
me,
not
I was
then
fighting for
personally.
black educators.
Listen,
That was my
you
thing.
may haven't done it personally, but
Yeah.
a lot of educators did, and
But that's why I
they
left.
bought into. See, when I was in the streets, you couldn't come and lay down nothing that we lay down and come in because you're gonna get shot up and ran off the corner. Y'all didn't shoot them up and run them off the corner. I'm gone. We love you. So see,
Well,
that's
you
the
wait a minute,
difference
Tyrone,
between,
but it ain't like we can't do that now.
Nah,
Don't
you
look.
sure can.
Hey,
You at
hey.
war.
We at war. We at war.
Anytime your babies are dying every
We are
day,
at war.
and the government, look what they doing. They bring out the Arnie Duncan, the white man, to talk about the reduction in shootings, and they use a bunch of other black men to stand there that's making crumbs compared to what they making.
Yep.
To say this is what's going on. And we never deal with the issues of brainwashing, black inferiority complexes that our babies have, and never thinking they're adequate or enough. And then we send a lot of them. We don't even see. If I was an educator, a principal, if I was a principal of a school, I would visit every household that my children live. I will make it my business while my assistant principal running these schools. After, I don't care if I got to do 5 on the weekend, because I need to see the conditions of those households.
What do I have? Yeah.
I need to look in that refrigerator. I need to see and feel the hurt and pain that my students are under, so I can properly advocate for them to get what they need. See,
come on,
they not real educators in the sense that you think the curriculum, a kid that's living in a broken house, give a damn about your curriculum. I don't care about your curriculum. If you came as my principal on the weekend, and I beat you home on Friday, and I'm sitting on your couch. As a child, I would think my principal actually cares about my condition, and then sit down at the dinner table with his parent.
You got principals that won't even come and sit in a classroom. You think they go into somebody's house?
This is why they can't lead our people.
And that's right.
This is why this is a work of God.
Yes.
Educating people, first of all, I don't care how smart you are, how much wisdom you have. No wisdom that you have is yours. Everything that you have, that you've learned, that you acquired out of a book, or that you read out of the Bible, or it was already here. So now your brain has come together through your education, and you got logic, reason, rationale, and you know how to formulate a sentence or understanding about something. When you start thinking you bigger than the people and not their conditions, and you don't see yourself as part of the conditions because you don't live in the neighborhoods that you are principal over, or that you are the warden over. Some people call them aldermen. I call them, they over wards. They over the prisons. They over the wards. They over our communities are prisons, and they are the ward officers. They are the wardens. They're not aldermen. I see all our aldermen as wardens of a prison. They over wards.
All y'all doing is sitting there.
You sitting in the prison and a reprobate up our communities.
Guiding the hen house.
Talking about your alderman, a respectful term of being a caretaker over the prison. It's called wards. Then you're a warden. Y'all are wardens of the prisons of Inglewood. Y'all are the wardens of the prisons of Lawndale's, Roseland. Y'all are wardens over the prisons of black communities. And y'all's only thing y'all have to offer of value is constant imprisonment and in constant degradation, demoralization, and policing in those wards. You got correctional officers roaming the wards, never really
Never stopping, never engaging.
They don't even live in the wards that they patrol. So this ward,
not serving, not protecting,
and nor do they even check in with the wardens, the aldermen.
No.
They have no real connection with the commanders and the police in their community.
No connection, no relationship.
So you know the people that's most qualified to understand the condition of the community in the hellholes are often the people that's over it.
It's the people in the community. It's the community people.
This is why I'm running.
It's the people who are down in the trenches.
These peoples are really sad, man.
Oh,
yeah. So you will always see the establishment isolate, remove, and even some cases kill men that can actually transform the thought processes and thinking. I didn't think the way I think overnight. I spent 21 years in a 9x12 grappling with the conditions of people. I didn't play cards, dominoes, spades, look at girl books. I spent my whole time in prison killing my brain cells, thinking about how do I help Black people. So that's why it's easy for me to come out, start ECCSC, and go hit the ground running. People are like, man, how you do that? Because it's already innately in me, and that's why I have to run for senator. We have a whole senator that bring the money to the communities. You got a whole senator and a party that don't even come to your neighborhood. Nope. And we vote for these old white men over and over. Dick Durbin.
Yep.
We vote for J.B. Pritzker, who only come to our community
at election
time. And y'all keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. You are a lunatic.
Definition of insanity.
You are a lunatic, Black people. And the very people that do fight and that get them, we are the radicals.
It's the same. It's the same one.
We're the ones that don't get what we need to help you. Nor do the people support.
And the people don't support it.
So, I know. We break.
But you know what? It's all good though, because here's the thing. Trouble don't last always. And I can assure you that God is still in charge. He is still on the throne.
That's why we here.
And listen, and this is
the beginning.
This ain't gonna be how this end up. Nah. So we need to be about our business of making sure that we're raising up, that we're training up our young people. Because at the end of the day, they are our future. And if we want our future to be bright, and those of us who want to live to be 100, think about the fact that those people are our future. And if you living to be 100 and we ain't putting nothing into them, we ain't pouring into them, we ain't giving them nothing, we ain't teaching them nothing, we ain't saving anything for them, we not providing legacies for them,
they're gonna eat you.
Ooh.
So y'all,
listen.
Y'all already know what this is. This is the Frontline Show with Tyrone Muhammad and Carter Trust, sponsored by Prohibition TH Cafe, 2113 South State by Support Your Local Weed Man. Listen, we coming back
Tuesday, 420.
420. What's 420? Sunday.
420 is
420 is Sunday. Is it this Sunday?
It's this Sunday.
420 this Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday. 420 is next Sunday. This Sunday is 420.
Is it this Sunday?
It's Sunday. We ready, y'all. 420 is time, right? 420 this Sunday, 2113 South State. Hey, we're not just about the 420. We're about the culture, and we are building something that's magnificent for our community that's grown, can come together and change the trajectory, as God say, of some of these issues. So we hope to see y'all there. Come on, man. Go to supportyourlocalweedman.com and get your tickets. ProhibitionTHCCafe.com and get your tickets. And we'll see y'all next week. And thank y'all for tuning in.
You cannot handle this intellect. Dimensional third, I savage. Second second verse I can count, yeah, I'm counting days. This truth you see coming, gon' make you shame. They've been secretly scared of domination. Consider their feelings no obligation. When dealing with ignorance, best you don't deal with it.